Hi, you're watching Real Loop. I'm Gina Morelli. In this episode, we'll talk about the housing shortfall driven by a long-term decline in the construction of new homes. Let's start with our local Coos and Curry County market update for April. In Coos County, comparing 2021 to 2020 through April, the average sales price has increased 31.9% to $313,700. In the same comparison, the median sales price has increased 23.6% to $270,000. Inventory is down to 1.5 months compared to 3.7 in April 2020 and 1.4 in March 2021. Total market time for homes averaged 84 days in April compared to 82 in March. 85 homes sold for an average of 98% of the listing price and 97% of the original listing price. In Curry County, comparing 2021 to 2020 through April, the average sales price has decreased 2.6% to $345,800, while the median sales price has decreased 2.5% to $308,000. Inventory is down to 1.5 months compared to 4.6 in April 2020 and 1.2 in March of 2021. Total market time for homes averaged 88 days in April compared to 129 in March. 65 homes sold for an average of 97% of the listing price and 95% of the original listing price. The inventory shortage we are currently experiencing across the country may not be entirely due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Looking at this chart of single-family housing construction completed by decade, we see a strong deficit over the last decade. Just 6.5 million homes completed, showing evidence that the housing market is not keeping up with the population growth, largely related to the hangover from the housing crash of 2008. We've seen a shift in attitude towards homeownership coming out of the last downturn of 2008, when lots of people questioned whether owning a home was still the American dream. Many lost money in their home and remained reluctant to risk the same investment. Today, coming out of the pandemic, there are clear signs that owning a home is more important to people as it became the epicenter of their lives during lockdown. The topic of a crash is common, with Google reporting that just a couple weeks ago, the question, "When is the housing market going to crash?" spiked in the past month. Many people are making the connection with the housing crash in 2008, but there is evidence of a different issue of inventory shortage affecting the market as opposed to risky loans. NAR says demand remains strong as home buyers are snatching quickly off the MLS, and it takes approximately 18 days for a home to go from listing to contract in the current housing market. A year ago, it took 29 days. Pulseonomics says 43% of the economists they surveyed said the U.S. housing market will grow in the second half of the year when folks feel more confident about going out and maybe having people in their homes. NAR came out with a study on the top 5 reasons why homeowners plan to sell this year. Homes are no longer meeting needs which have changed during the pandemic. Selling in the current market is likely to produce a profit due to the inventory shortage driving up prices. Some want a smaller house which requires less maintenance and work. Others want to live closer to friends and family, a likely byproduct of the pandemic which highlighted the importance of close relationships. The average profit for a home seller increased 26% over the last year, growing from $55,750 to just over $70,000 in the first quarter. Despite the increase in potential profit from home sales, we still see many people skeptical of putting their house on the market for fear of getting caught in a bubble. What we are seeing is evidence that rather than a bubble, it's simply supply and demand at work, with low inventory keeping upward pressure on prices. Coos and Curry County data sourced from RMLS.com and national data sourced from Keeping Current Matters. If you'd like to know more, feel free to send us questions or post comments. We are always looking for better ways to serve our community, and hearing from you helps us do that. Stay safe and keep an eye out for next month's market update.